back to Andy's garage. Louder.
Yeah.
Louder. Welcome back to Andy's garage, episode 0 of the Skoda Yeti. One. Well, yeah, it's the only episode ever probably on the Skoda Yeti. Well, yeah, maybe no, will be. Unexpected and unplanned. Well, actually, all episodes are unplanned, obviously. But the customer turned up this morning with this, saying the dashboard had lit up like a Christmas tree and it was making a funny noise from the back. Okay, so it was booked in anyway around about now for the front brakes, but these were all on top of that job. So what first thing was flip the bonnet and Charles started the thing up, and it was running like a bag of spanners because this plug lead was hanging off. So it was only firing on 3, hence dashboard warning lights, engine not happy, take me to the dealer, pushed it back on, smoothed out, wonderful. The light's still on the dashboard, but that was the problem. How come the plug lead has just fallen off, you ask? And I asked the same question, and we can tell you the answer. But whilst we're here, check the oil, and that's slightly overfilled. Another clue. Join me at the desk of shame over here. Okay, so why has the plug lead suddenly fallen off? Here's the service book, here's the invoices, and would you know it, the car's just had a major service, including a change of plugs, 315 miles ago. So the guy who did the service might have been Tony Casford, but we'll come back to that. When he was putting the plug leads back on, didn't clip that plug lead back on properly. Oh well, never mind. Easy mistake to make. He's probably only done 6,000 of these in the last... Anyway, never mind, Tony. At the same time as the car was serviced, the customer, it belongs, just to backstory on this car, it belongs to a lovely older couple who are well known around this parish. They've owned the car for 5 years. It's done 80, nearly 90,000 miles. They've done about half those. 2 owners, full dealer history. Lovely, well looked after car, not abused. So the technician phoned the lovely older gentleman who is well known in this parish at the time of the service and said, brakes are getting worn, and here is the piece of paper, he said. And his name was Brian Smith. He said, your front discs are worn, lipped. 90% of the front brake pads are worn. 90% worn on the front pads. So the customer, lovely elder gentleman, well known of this parish, spoke to his independent technician, me, and we agreed that the brakes, if they were needing doing, but not today, we'd take it away from the dealer and we'd do them ourselves. So the car came away from the dealer 300 miles ago. We had a look, and here is the front disc, brackets lipped. So you're looking at this gap, Todd. Can you get your camera to look at the gap between the ruler and the disc face? A couple of mil, 1.5 mil. Yeah, okay, that's lipped. But then it was lipped the first day it was used, so it's how lipped. So 90% pad wear. Here is the old pad on it. Can you see that? I would say that's got about 6 mil remaining. Here's a brand new pad out the box. Comes with 11. 11 minus 6 is 4. 90%.
5.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. What's 90% of 11? 1.1 times 9, 9.9. I don't know. Anyway, it's about 50%, isn't it? It's under 50% warm. 90%? No. It's not 90% warm. It's about 50% warm. But hey ho, you know, lovely elderly couple, well known about this parish. Why would you take any chances? Let's just put new discs and pads on the car, was the independent technician's advice on the back of what the dealer had said. So we went and invested in lovely expensive, can't buy any better, Brembo pads. And I'll tell you why you know they're good, because look, here's Leonardo of the Brembo racing department, who says Brembo the choice of champions, proven by over 200 racing titles won, and by those who, every day, that's the lovely older couple, well known of this parish, every day, drive and ride along roads knowing that Brembo is at their side anywhere in the world. Yeah, okay, good. Well, we pay for this stuff, and not only were the pads expensive, they came with this lovely pad wear sensor, which the car doesn't have. Anyway, so we're not cutting corners. We're paying for the best we can. We're paying punter money. We're not paying dealer money for our parts. Go on. How much did we have to spend to get new discs and pads for the front of the Skoda Yeti? And how much did the Skoda dealer want to charge us to fit the same or thereabouts quality? Yeah, you're right. It cost us £100 and the dealer wanted £300 for the same thing. That includes the labour to fit, which took about 30 minutes. Okay, well we're not too bothered about that, that's fine. We're going to get cross in a minute. Not cross, disappointed. No, what is it? I'm not angry, I'm disappointed. No, it's not true. I'm not disappointed, I'm angry. No, actually, I'm angry and disappointed, but we'll come back to that. So, front discs and pads done because Ryan and Tony said they were 90% worn. Well, they were wrong. Get this, come in here, and then we'll go back to the car. He also advised, and this is advisory, not immediate attention, which was the pads on the front, 90% worn front pads. Advisory, discs worn and lipped, well, we've discussed that. The rear drums are scored and the rear brake pads are 70% worn. Now you'll spot there's a kind of interesting mismatch there. Let's go back to the back of the car and we'll discuss that mismatch a little bit more. Okay, so we're back to the rear of the Yeti. So this is the very, very complete and well filled out report signed by two people, Tony and I can't remember, we'll come back to that. But one of them's done it and the other one signed it off as final check, person responsible and final check. So we're not messing about here. Some of this stuff is serious and therefore we want two people involved, one to make sure the other person's done what he's supposed to do. Right, let's have a look at these rear drums on the Skoda Yeti. What do you spot immediately about this rear drum on the Skoda Yeti? You're right, it's not a drum, it's a disc. Okay, well, easy mistake to make, I suppose, because, you don't do this for a living. So this rear disc that's not a drum, that they say is scored, okay, well, maybe not, depends what you mean by scored. Rear brake pads 70% worn, so the fronts were 90% and we measured those, it's around about 50. They reckon the rears are 70% worn, so 20% less worn than the fronts. Here they are. You know that funny noise that the customer reported from the back? Okay. That funny noise was the backing plate of the pad rubbing on the metal disc, metal to metal, because the pad is completely worn away. There is no friction material left. This is just scored metal. And according to Tony and Ryan, there's still 30% left on there. What? Really? Allow me to be smug for a moment because I'm not a main dealer, I'm not a mechanic, I don't do this for a living. But really, lovely older couple, well known about this parish. And this is the service. Right, we'll just final return to the table. Okay, finally, so a little dig deeper into the paperwork. Since the lovely older couple of the well known of this parish bought the car 5 years ago, we've taken it to this dealer, local dealer. And this guy, Tony Casford, who signed this off last month, 10 miles ago. You go back through the paperwork, Tony Casford, somebody else, Tony Casford. I'm not blaming it on Tony Casford, I'm just making the point that there is a relationship there. You would know that these are people, not just cars, and owners have faces. He didn't just see this guy off the street and do this job. I've added up the invoices for the 5 years that they've been taking this car to that dealer every time it needed a service. 1,500 quid, £300 a year, and the car ends up with a mechanical this morning, so it wasn't driving properly. If they'd been on a journey further from home than 4 miles, it would have been a bit more serious. There would have been a delay and a call to the breakdown company to get them sorted out. But the rear brakes are the thing. That's unsafe, that's dangerous, allowing rear brakes to go down to the metal. Full dealer history from new, 2 owners, and they've spent £300 a year at least to get it to this state. I'm not angry, I'm not disappointed, I'm not smug, I'm all of the above. But we'll sort it. The fronts are done, the rear pads are on order, and it'll be back on the road in a couple of days.